Yeah. Bonsoir, Madame
Let's get this
Fontaine.
party started.
What? What'd you say?
I said, let's get this party started.
Woo!
Woo, woo, wow.
Ah, what we all needed tonight. It's so nice out. Oh my gosh.
I took my kids. Ellie just got done with Girl Scouts, and we went on White Bear Avenue on while we're driving, home to North St. Paul. We pass this Mexican ice cream shop all the time. And when we were in Florida, we got like these popsicles, like these they're called like palette. I don't know if you say the L or not, but they're just like they have a bunch of different cool flavors of popsicles, and we ate them a bunch in Florida. So we went to this place and got
They
popsicles.
had
They were
them.
delicious.
Love it.
Yeah, it was
That's
tasty.
so perfect for a day like today.
Mhm. And one of their ice cream flavors was tequila. So
Oh,
maybe next time.
yeah, maybe next time. Yeah, I took Lukey. I took the boys to the park and then I took Luke to Tamarack Nature Center while Jacob was doing his little class.
Oh yeah.
And Darren is taking them to the park tonight during Bethy's softball. And Luke was like, "No, I can't do more park.
I can only take so much fresh
I can
air.
only take so much fresh air and sunshine." It's like he needs to work back his tolerance up.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
gosh. Bonsoir, Madame Meyer.
It's all the teachers that I just saw like half an hour
I
ago.
know. Yay.
I know. And they're still in our room.
Amazing. I was gonna
Oh
say
my
the
God.
background looks familiar.
Oh my God, you're still there.
Hey,
Well,
Chantel.
she's got to pick up Clara at like 8.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
she's in it for the long haul tonight at school.
Nice. Oh, I'm gonna wait till a couple more of the board members get on. Yeah, it's so gorgeous. I didn't like I checked the weather this morning, but I think like my brain didn't compute like exactly how warm it would be.
Yeah.
It's like coldish spring, summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Not very equal.
Oh yeah.
See this? This is my puzzle that I've been trying to work on lately. It's got all these monsters.
Oh, nice.
I did
Cute.
one of the puzzles that you gave me, and now
Love
I'm in
it.
the puzzle mood. So I've been doing monster puzzle now.
Love it. Welcome to those who are just popping on. I'll text them again.
C'est la maman de Carrie.
Oh, yeah, hey. Hi, Katie. It's funny because like now I recognize so many more people because I doing the car line for so long.
I bet. I bet.
I was just telling someone, I'm like, it was part of it that was actually kind of nice was just like getting to see so many people, talk to people, like make the
Hmm.
connections.
Is the car line stuff all done now?
Yeah, for now, but we have like all of the infrastructure in place if we need to start up again. And we were
Yeah.
talking about, I don't know, I haven't talked to Principal Barter about it yet, but we were talking about possibly, oh, there's Emily. She is the one who's coordinating all of it. Just asking if
Hi.
the
Mhm.
car line was done for now.
Oh, yeah, it is done for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true. But we were
Yeah.
talking about maybe bringing it back for like the first 2 weeks of the school year to help get everybody in the flow of how car line works.
Smart.
Mhm.
And the little kids probably,
And maybe
Yeah.
maybe those same people could help with recruitment too, now that we have all these volunteers.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Let's
Yeah,
just
there you go.
keep, now that we got all their contact numbers, we can
Uh,
send texts over
I
and
know
over.
that group chat's like so
Yeah.
big and I've been so good. I haven't put anything in there. Emily can attest. I stay, on point.
I feel like though now that, mutual aid is closing, like at least the emergency relief is closing down,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
would be a reasonable place to put things now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't tell me.
Community community
Whenever
text
people
group
give me
is
their phone
nice.
number, I'm like, you don't want to do this. You might regret your life choice. Oh, well, let's go ahead and get started. We have a lot to get through tonight. We welcome to everyone. Thank you for, it's so gorgeous out, and you all came here tonight for an hour, so thank you. Um, just for joining us and learning how you can support our school and how we can serve our school better. We do have one agenda item that was added, so we're going to talk about screen usage in our school. As part of Principal Barter's update. So we'll get to that in a minute. Um, and then I am just going to share my screen so that we can read our norms, our meeting norms and procedures. Okay. All right. There we go. I did it. All right, Malia, are you there?
I'm here. Apparently my video is no longer connected, so I will be with the black screen, but yes. Okay, so the general meeting norms. One, we respect is respect. We actively listen, speak with courtesy and honesty, acknowledge one another, and express gratitude for the contributions we bring to this space. Conversation needs to remain professional and engaged. Two is inclusion. We will be actively mindful and counter our biases. We will be a safe and brave space for everyone. Three is service. We will bring we sorry. I have a pop-up. Okay. The well-being of the students and families is our priority. Seek ways to support students, their families, and the community, as well as improve the school. Four is understanding. We all come from different backgrounds and cultures, and we acknowledge and appreciate that we will have different and equally valid interpretations of topics, issues, and conversations. Our general meeting procedures. We will follow the meeting agenda that was prepared by the board and distributed to the community ahead of the meeting. If time allows, meeting attendees may ask a question or make a comment related to agenda items. Please use the raise hand function to, oh my gosh, sorry, my
It's okay.
I keep getting a Zoom pop-up. Move. Okay. Sorry. Please use the raise hand function to indicate that you have something to share with the group. The meeting facilitator will call on you, and comments and questions are limited to 1 minute. At the 1 minute mark, a member of the board will give a reminder. And just a reminder that this is being recorded and will be posted on our LNFI PTO YouTube channel.
Fabulous. Thank you, Malia. All right. I can't believe it's April already. Holy cow. Mid-April. Okay. So do we have Principal Barter on yet?
I'm here.
Yay, you're here.
I'm over at Washington Tech today. So
Of course. Where else would you be? Your job is just everywhere.
so hold on just a second here. I'm going to see if I can share with you. So, hi everybody. It's good to see all of you, even though I actually really can't because I'm trying to do this just with like one little screen. I'm going to do just a brief presentation tonight. I want to be really clear and upfront. This is not a budget presentation. This is our allocations presentation. So based on enrollment and some other factors, I just want to kind of present what kind of funds and positions we're being funded for the upcoming school year. There are still some decisions that need to be made before like the finalized budget is communicated out. And I also want to be transparent that in a smaller school, the question of budget is like there's not a ton of flexibility and yeah, and also one of the things I'll definitely want to make sure that I kind of step into a little bit is, we are super excited that voters approved a levy in the fall in November. And then also when I present the data, it might be confusing. So please, if you just have questions, like feel free to raise a hand, chime in. And Rebecca, if you can help me with just kind of seeing some of those, if I miss it, that would be super helpful for me. So I'm going to try to share here. So what I'm going to put up on the screen is just a Google slide presentation, and it is the presentation of what our allocations are. I have no idea what that warning just was on my computer. I'm sorry. For the upcoming school year. Now, unfortunately, some of the trends that you'll see in this, sorry, the numbers that you see are the numbers for sections allocated or FTEs allocated for particular positions that are there. And a lot of what decides what we are allocated, the district uses some calculations to figure out what projected enrollment will be. They take a look at some historical data and then what some of our current enrollment numbers are after we get out of the priority enrollment period. And then based really on the contractual language that's out there for class caps, they then say, oh, we've got 50 kindergarten students. Well, that equates to 2 sections because the class cap, one of my teachers will correct me if I'm wrong, for kindergarten, I believe is 25. I left my allocations manual. I had all the data in front of me so I wouldn't make a mistake. Is that right, Anita?
It's 26.
26. See, that's why you're here. Thank you. So, yeah. So in any event, then they would, make calculations based on that. I had highlighted in this some of the numbers that are shifting, and yeah, and can I step back to like I'm talking about numbers, we're talking about sections, and the challenge for me in this is like this is connected to human beings that your children know. This is connected to human beings that we all know. It's colleagues, it's friends. So as I'm talking about numbers, that's not lost on me. Like this is heavy information and it's hard. So yeah, so you can see that we did go from 3 sections of kindergarten down to 2. The reality is the numbers in those sections we had this year were actually pretty low as well too. They were pretty well below that cap. Our TAs were brought down we had 2 this year. One was funded through some alternative funds, but not actually granted through the district. And then the way the district calculates the numbers for specialists, that's Phy Ed, science, and art, is they based it on overall classroom sections. So and they give a school a 0.2 of a specialist for each section they have. So we went from 13, which this current year, which was a 2.6, which rounds up to a 3. to a 2.4, which now goes to a 2.5. So unfortunately, we'll have that to kind of navigate and figure out as well too. One of the things that's kind of might be confusing on this and might generate a question if I didn't jump into it, if you kind of go over, sorry, and then some of the other things, like you can notice that we will still have through A&I funds, achievement and integration. Again, someone can correct me if I got it wrong. Money that's really spent to focus on equity in schools. We use it to fund an academic coach, or sorry, a content coach. That will stay consistent. Our EL allocation is the same. We get a TA in the library, and we have a TA that works for special education, and that will remain the same. We still get an intervention specialist. And then on the right side, we still get a principal. And then one of the things that looks funny is we have a lead clerk at a 1.0 and then a 0.5. Elementary schools, our size are allocated that. Some of the bigger ones might get 2 full clerks. And that's that 0.5 clerk is one of the things I have a little bit of flexibility with. The pay rate on that is relatively low. So dollars and cents wise, it's not a huge amount of money. It alone would not fund, say, for example, an entire teaching assistant position. But it does give me a little bit of flexibility, and I can combine it with some other funds that I get too. We get extra money that's a little bit more flexible. I get extracurricular money that totals in $25,000. That's also I can be kind of flexible with, and some principals might use to combine with some other monies to try to like fill out a position here or there. That's the really quick version of this, and I can understand that you might have some questions. I might just stop talking and see what's out there. I will do my best to explain, and to be honest, if we come into a question that I don't have a good answer for, I will certainly take some notes. I've got my notebook with me and follow up with you all as needed.
I have
Yeah,
a
go
quick,
ahead.
oh, go ahead. Sorry, I have a really quick question. The
Yeah,
coach position, is that the job that Madame Rivard is doing this year?
correct.
And
Yep,
that position is staying, or
correct.
that allocation? Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Anna?
Yeah, so I'm happy to see that Miss Maloney is there for SPED. I'm trying to understand this more every year. So is there like after in October when they get total enrollments then from that school year, is there the potential for a cut again? Is that what happens?
So that number, that threshold in October, the October cutoff is a really important one for schools. Um, if enrollment continues to go down, I don't know why my camera keeps like chopping my head off. I'm sorry. I was trying to adjust the screen. They look at that number as like a sign of like, well, maybe there would be more reductions if numbers go down. So one of the things I'm really focused on is making sure that we have very full sections and that we're, working to continue to promote the school and get it out there. So.
Okay, but it like that is a real possibility though that you like you said that's another threshold that will
Oh,
come
that like
down.
next year that we would go down even more.
Well, like there's the possibility, not that we will, but like
There's
that.
always the possibility. And I
Okay.
think based on where we're at now, again, like there's a lot of things that could change. Like I was over at Riverview, one of the Spanish immersion schools, and like the challenge they're facing, their enrollment has just plummeted. And it's because like their community is so immigrant based. And so many families are just electing to no longer stay in the United States. So like there could be a lot of factors that play into it, but based on where our numbers are at, given these allocations, I think we're doing pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
We do have some things in the chat. Katie is asking, at this point, how does enrollment look for 2026-27 kindergarten?
Ooh, Anita, you might have the numbers more fresh than me. I can't remember. Are we right at 50? I have it in a sheet somewhere buried under about 50 tabs right now, and I'm not going to make you all try to watch me find that.
We have, I believe, 33 new kindergartners coming in.
It
Plus,
actually it jumped up to
there's,
35.
oh, did it? Oh, you'll have to give
That
me those
number I know
two.
as soon as you said it.
Okay, you'll have to give me those two. And then my class, probably 16 or 17,
Yeah.
depending on family choices.
And one of the things, and like this is again, like the district has, like kind of rubrics that they follow. They track historic data. Our retention rate historically from pre-K to K is about 88%. So it's just one of those things, and for a variety of reasons, right? Families move, parents get new jobs, and then maybe they're not on the east side and they elect to go to a different school. A one or two or a small handful of children every year.
Okay.
Yeah, when your sample size is, 18 to 20 kids, like if I lose one or two, then it's like down, it's 88%. It's not,
Yeah.
it looks bad, but it's just a couple kids.
It sounds big. It
So
sounds bigger than it, or like a more significant thing than it is.
I have a question. So the enrollment numbers and the allocations, those are based on like whoever applied before the priority deadline, like February 20th, right? Or
Yeah.
so
I think
it is.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm just wondering, like, if we get more kids that enroll, like maybe you weren't right on the February 20th deadline. Is it
Mhm.
possible that like what would the kindergarten teachers like take more kids? Would they go over their cap, or is it possible they would open up a third section, or do we know?
So good question. And I don't have clarity and issues. So it is possible to go over cap. That becomes a
Okay.
conversation between the union and between like the district and myself. So it is a possibility. Um,
Okay.
yeah, we'll just again
We just have to
kind of
see
look
what the
into the
numbers
future.
are.
We kind of have to wait and see what we kind of get. And again,
Okay.
there's always the potential, and we have many months before we get going again for next year. There's always the potential for some fluctuation. So as
Yeah.
those things come up, we'll be focusing on it come August.
Okay. All right. Chantel says it's unsurprising we have fewer kindergartners after they cut our pre-K, and it definitely feels like the trend will continue. Um, and Anna is wondering about the paid pre-K option. I know that you were working on that, and she's wondering how that came out.
Yeah. So we've been having a lot of conversations with the district and been trying to look into explore different options. And I don't have a lot of clarity to share at this time on that particular question. Like it's an ongoing conversation, like we're
Okay.
advocating for it. And, I think if I'm just being really like full disclosure, because I hear this a lot, like I hear about the historic trend. Like if you look at our 5-year data, and I'm owning it. I say our data, and I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but numbers have gone down in the last 5 years pretty considerably. So I'm continuing to talk to those people and I see them all the time. And my hope is that we'll get there. It's just also these processes sometimes take more than a year. So my hope is that we will get there. I'm very confident. My school is not a hard sell. I love it when tours come in. I love that we've had some wonderful, higher profile people in the building and they can look in a classroom and see excellent things happening. I can share that in my previous district, that was not necessarily always the case. But I am confident to have people come in and look around and ask questions and see what awesome kids are doing with awesome educators every day at our school. So,
All right. Emily is wondering if this means we're going to lose art, gym, or science. No. How?
I cannot share that with you yet, but that
Okay.
will be when I get to like a hardened budget, not just these are our allocations. I'll make sure that you all have that
Okay.
information.
Cool. And Katie is wondering what are the current numbers for fourth and fifth that led to the 4-5 split?
Yeah.
Um, and then second part of her question, how does that number compare or how does the number of current third graders compare?
I don't have
So
that. I don't have
wondering
that
about
info right
enrollment
in
in
front of
fourth and
me.
fifth.
Um, which Katie is it?
Feudal,
Sorry. What's that?
I can
feudal.
share
Oh,
I can share that. I think I'm third grade and I'm in at 24 and then I think Madam Nelson is at 22. So 24, 22. God, why can't I do this? 46, right?
Okay,
46
yeah, yeah.
graders. But then, always there's a little bit of loss in immersion. We know it's a little bit of a pyramid, unfortunately, but yeah, if that
and one of the things I'm going to be talking to my 4-5 team about regarding that split, I think a lot about these things and I can see a few possible scenarios. Hi, Cade, you made it. Um, so we could do something similar to what we're doing now, where we have a dedicated fourth, a dedicated fifth, and then one split section. we could split all the sections. Um, One of the other options that I'm considering, and I've even borrowed some schedules from some other schools that do something like this, is just think out. And this requires a lot more work with staff and figuring out like what they're kind of up for, is possibly doing almost like a middle school model with the 4-5 group where we could have something that looks like a one teacher teaches French literacy, one teacher teaches English literacy, one teacher teaches math, and students have like a rotating schedule where they go between rooms to get, like they go to this room with this teacher for this, and then they go to a different room. So but I don't have clarity on that yet with what that'll look like. I am going to put a Google form in my newsletter this weekend or this Friday. So to just to see if parents have some thoughts and ideas. And I need to work with my teachers as well too, just to kind of get their feedback for what they think of those options.
Okay. Becky's wondering, she says, we've historically had 3 kindergarten classes. Have we always had only 2 first grade classes? And is that much attrition typical between kindergarten and first grade? So why does it go down to 2 after kindergarten?
I don't have the historic data, but I do have the historic understanding that, I mean, if we looked at our enrollment pre-pandemic, I know numbers were like in the 700s. So the enrollment has consistently gone down in the last 7, 8 years, and there might be some staff members that are here as well previously. There have been healthier numbers. Our attrition from K-1 actually has not been too sharp of a decline. I think we were in this weird sizing thing this past year where it was a 3-2. It's not because people are like numbers were already pretty small. Some of the classes in our kinder sections now are well below the class limit of 26.
Yeah. I think too, like, and I could be totally wrong, but in first grade, the caps for the classes are a little higher, possibly.
Correct.
So then goes down to 2 because each teacher can take more kids.
Yeah, and enrollment, in immersion schools is kind of funny, largely because like we actually do have some students coming in as fourth graders for next year, which is awesome. But it's a hard sell for a family to say like, oh, your kid doesn't have any French. We're going to put them in a room with children that have had 5 years of instruction in French. Like that's just when you take into consideration the like success of a child, like they might be super motivated at that age and their family might have some resources to help with that process. But if you don't have those factors, it's just it's a tough sell and a tough way to kind of like build a bridge into that. Which is just a challenge. And it's a lot of immersion schools their enrollments go like this and then just like straight up because you hit a certain point where getting new students in is hard.
This is Madam Hanley, first grade teacher, and I've been with the school since its inception in 1996. And just in a little bit in response to that question, or just talking about enrollment in general, it is really, Mr. Barter just hit it right on with the pyramid. And so we do need to be bottom heavy, and we've had enrollment changes over the year. The district has lost students, and our schools reflected that loss too. The pandemic didn't help, et cetera. But at one time we had 5 kindergartens, 5 first grades, and 4 second grades. And so it is a little scary for us to hear us going down. We have not had 2 kindergartens since 2001. And so us having, if we go down to 2 kindergartens, it will affect our trajectory and the outcome of what our school is going to look like. And it's going to greatly shrink us. And so Madam Foltysek done a ton to try to market our school. And I think cutting the pre-K 2 years ago didn't help either. And so we need to do what we can to advocate to a second pre-K. I know Madam Foltysek's been working on that too, and that's probably a different conversation. But I don't believe there's been a ton of attrition from kindergarten to first grade, but it's just been an overall loss of students over the years due to a variety of reasons. And, our schools moved several times too. And so location has probably played into who we get into our school too. And and yeah, so let me know if you have any other questions.
So, you alluded to that Anita's been doing a lot to market the school. So if there are parents on the call, who are wondering like, how can we help? What can we do? Maybe Anita or Principal Barter want to speak to that for a minute. Like, what's our call to action here? How can we help?
Well, I just generally want to share that honestly, our best marketing is our current families. So I really do genuinely believe that like if my neighbor comes and tells me something, it's way different than me seeing an ad on Facebook. And I'm not saying that the Facebook ads don't generate resources too, but it hits kind of different when they can share that, like, oh my gosh, my son, like, or daughter is having just such an excellent experience at this school. Like, you should think about it. And yeah, I think that's a really good thing. And I do also know that the marketing stuff, we try to participate in a variety of events, and getting new data from some of the support we get about which communities are clicking on our links and trying to figure out over the summer where we go to try to promote the school there at different kinds of community events. So we're looking into some of that stuff as well too.
Anita, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would love to organize a door knocking event. We tried to do that in January, but then the whole ice thing happened, and people weren't feeling safe, and I totally understand that. So we put that on pause. But if people are interested in going around our East Side neighborhood and door knocking, or around your own neighborhood. Like if you just want to, like we have a lot of Phelan families. I'm sorry if you're hearing my child. He's playing. But like Payne Phelan, Dayton's Bluff, Battle Creek, those are the main communities that our school our school population comes from. But also, sorry, I've been going through the data, so I've been kind of looking at where students come from. Hamlin Midway used to be number 2 where we would pull from. Now it's number 3. And also, Battle Creek is number 2 now. But yeah, so a lot of East Siders. If you live on the East Side and could talk to your neighbors and say, you know, my kid goes here. Do you have any questions? It's right down the street. It's like we have super good, like even if they're not interested in French, we have great test scores compared to the other schools in St. Paul. We have, a great staff. What is it called? Like
Retention?
not yeah, retention, exactly. We have great staff retention. All of us teachers have been here forever, and our kids have gone here. So it says a lot to our school when like our teachers are just super dedicated, and we're like a big family. And so if you would like to help, you can either come with me on a door knocking around our school, or if you want to do it in your neighborhood, you can send me an email and I'll give you, I have brochures, I have kindergarten flyers, I have it all. So I would love the parent help, because I can only do so much as a teacher, but like Mr. Barter said, it means a lot coming from another parent. That's what they want. Well, that's what parents want to hear.
So we'll look for information about some opportunities, door knocking and moving forward. And we have a few more questions. I'm gonna butcher your name, but please correct me and introduce yourself. Rafai, do you have a question or a comment? All right, I'll come back to you. Oh, go ahead.
It's Karina. Hi.
Oh, hey.
It's Karina.
Oh, Karina, hi.
Yeah, I'm Rafai.
Got it.
Quick question. Have we paid attention to the demographic trends that are around the school location?
Good question. Thank you.
We track a lot of data. Can you be more specific about what kind of trends you're talking about?
I'm looking at the ethnicity demographics for the last 10 years. So I've been what I would consider kind of like a member of LNFI for quite some time before my children attended the school. But I've noticed the little trends, such as the fact that I enjoy our PTO, but I noticed that we now have the Spanish version of messages and alerts, which tells me the Hispanic population around the school has grown. I have lived in this neighborhood for 11 years and noticed that trend. So right now, where the school location is, which I think might be an issue, we're competing with approximately 5 different language schools around the same area. That's where my question about demographic is coming from. So like down the street from me is a Hmong Academy that's been here since I've been here. It was one of the first schools since I couldn't get into LNFI. And then Cesar Chavez, which is directly across from LNFI right now. However, LNFI had 2 campuses in which the lower campus did not have a compete. So therefore, yes, we had the necessary populations to grow the school. But since it consolidated since after the pandemic, the location that we're at right now, we are competing with truly 5 other different second language schools. So if we have a chance to look at that demographic, that will be probably helpful. Just an observation.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been going through I spent my spring break going through the past 15 years of our data and making charts and graphs, and I'm on the tail end of, I'm on my next step is to print them to show them to Mr. Barter. So
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Karina. It's good to hear your voice.
Emily, do you want to go ahead and maybe then we can move on? Sorry, Rebecca.
Yeah, I just wanted
I told
to
you I was going to be 5-10 minutes, and this is a little longer. I apologize.
It's okay.
I just wanted to say something really quick because my family was LNFI was not on our radar as a school. And when we started looking at like our neighborhood schools, I'm on the east side. The things that really drew us there were we met some amazing parents, like you said, that really spoke the virtues of LNFI, the diversity and the retention of teachers at LNFI, because as a mixed race family, it was really important to us that our kids had teachers that looked like them in their school. And LNFI was the best out of the ones that we looked at, out of the 4 schools we considered. And then finally, just the wonderful atmosphere that LNFI has. So, like, getting people in the door for tours, I think, is huge because as a former educator, I've been on a lot of campuses, and the way LNFI feels, and when you're in there, just the energy in the building, the energy from the educators and the energy from the staff and the students is really wonderful. So I feel like the more we can get people in our building and seeing what it's like there, the more success we can have at getting more people at our school.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you for everyone who contributed, and we will wait for to look for any opportunities to help out with how we can share our school. And it sounds like we might have some more budget information too, maybe at our next PTO meeting. So we'll see if there's some more like final numbers or anything in May. Then we also are going to have a short discussion about screen usage in schools. And so hand it off.
And I'd love to jump in on that because
Okay.
Becky, are you okay if I put you on blast? There you are. You turned your screen on. So Becky is amazing, and she at some point earlier in the year had come in to ask me some questions about technology. And I genuinely have a deep sense of gratitude for it because if I'm being personally like fully honest, I believe that we have like kind of a technology crisis for kids. It's really hard, right? And I know I'm speaking of my own challenges as a parent now, where just trying to manage it for kids, what's an acceptable amount, what are good barriers putting in, and then as an administrator, it's what's good implementation in a classroom? Like, is this really being used as a tool to facilitate learning? Or is it, like just all of these things? And like, how do we use it to like maximize learning? And when Becky was coming to me asking me some of the questions about stuff that was going on, I really welcomed it. And it's opened a door now for a conversation that's been going on for probably about 9 months. And I think if I understand right, she was just hoping to kind of bring some of her concerns and connect with you all just to see where you all are at. And like the other part of this is just like, I think there's so much evidence out there regarding like mental health concerns, the impacts on brain development. There's just so much around devices and how they're impacting children. So I know she brought that forward and wanted to share some thoughts. I'll stop talking and mute out.
Yeah, I should have probably put together a little presentation or something. Basically, as I was choosing L'Étoile du Nord, part of it, our family had relationships with French, and I was looking at all the different schools and kind of trying to decide, like, okay, how far are we going to drive to get to our immersion school and so on. And when I chose it, I was already sort of like, oh, there are things I think they do with screens that I'm not as big on because they're in in the St. Paul Public School District, and St. Paul has these, like they supply iPads or laptops or, at different grades, and that's kind of built into the system. And the system is built with these big screens in the classrooms that they're using, kind of like chalkboards, I gather, but also sometimes for other things. And sometimes those other things feel like they have real educational value to me. I mean, I was a college professor, so I have a very different experience of teaching than like a teacher in elementary school. I realize it's a very different thing, and I'm not trying to say like what they should do in a classroom, but I do have my own sort of as a parent sense of these things. And the I was a little concerned about sort of like the first things were like, oh, in kindergarten, and I don't know how much this follows in later years because they aren't doing as much playtime, but like in the morning they have this playtime, and then their teachers are also, while they're supposed to be doing playtime, playing videos of French songs. Now, I get that they're
Don't do it anymore.
they don't. Okay. So I don't know if that's like they never do it anymore, or they don't do it for the second half of the semester, or yeah, tell me more, Eve.
Um, so like sometimes I do it when we're being too loud when we're playing.
Right. Yeah. And that's, I think, kind of been a concern of mine is like, it sounds like off what Eve just said to me. I don't know if people heard it. Sometimes they do it when we're being too loud playing. And so I guess I heard from, I mean, and I'm hearing all of this from my kid. My kid tells me what's happening, and then I sort of ask about it. So some of it is obviously like maybe needs to be taken with grains of salt or whatever. But I think she's pretty keyed into it because she knows it's something I care about. Um, I hear about watching movies in English at lunchtime, regularly, not just once in a while. And I hear about,
Mostly once in.
okay, so like once a week, it sounds like. I've heard from some kids saying once a week, and I've heard that sometimes it's more than that and sometimes it's less. And it sounds like it also depends on who's running lunch. And I find that lunchtime is a time I feel pretty strongly personally, and I'm curious to know what other people think, or whether this is just like a me problem, I have to deal with it or go somewhere else because I can't, or if it's an everybody agrees with me problem, and then we can find solutions for it. But I kind of feel like lunch is a social time, and that it putting a screen during social times is telling our kids exactly what I want my kid, who will not know a world without a screen in front of her or in her pocket all the time. That like we prioritize people and social interactions over our screens. So that's something that I've been sort of frustrated about, and I've also seen it used a little bit. I don't love the idea of calling out particular teachers, but I know that it's used sometimes when the kids are waiting after a specialty to be picked up by their main teacher. So then it's kind of being used. Eve, can you stop tapping me for just a second? And this is maybe a harsh term, but kind of as a pacifier. So like I want my kid to be able to learn how to sit or be quiet for or be able to control herself for 5 minutes while she waits for her teacher. And especially if she's able to do that, I know that they sit in their squares when and they're like, they know where they're supposed to be. And there are other times where they're being told to sit quietly. And I think that's good. But then I just wonder where, where are their spaces? What are the what are the constraints? I think like for me, English language TV, especially, feels like beyond the pale, but maybe I'm the only one. And if I'm the only one, then I'll shut up. And if there are other people who agree with me, then I'd love to have more conversation. Like what are the limits or challenges that people are facing, who are watching our kids and who are teaching our kids? And then what can we do differently to support them, to encourage them to do things differently if we think that what they're doing isn't necessarily in our children's developmental best interest? Because I think Eve's getting a great academic education, but I'm a little concerned about her social emotional development, sort of longer term. Yeah. So that's kind of where I am. And I'll be quiet because, yeah.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for using the contribute an agenda function. I think you were the first one this year, and I love it. Love getting ideas from the community. So we do have quite a few staff. We have our principal here. So would you guys like to speak about it? And then we have a couple of comments also. Madame Mayer says she works in the cafeteria. They don't show weekly movies. She's seen it once since the beginning of the year. And Madame Faltasek says lunch gets really loud. Maybe we could get parent volunteers to help manage the cafeteria volume. It could be an idea. So a couple comments. Madame Swan? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was
There we
like
go.
not finding the raise hand button, so I had to like
That's
actually
okay.
raise my hand also.
I saw the hand.
So, excuse me. One thing important to know is, sorry, the cafeteria we have decided as a staff is like an English okay zone. So, like I don't know, like I personally as a parent would prefer, because I'm a parent and a student or and a teacher, but I would prefer that yes, they watch movies like once a week maximum. And I don't know if it's happening more than that. I didn't think it was. Um, in the past it was like only on Fridays. And but yeah, that's definitely an English zone. So like I'm not surprised that they're playing movies in English. Also as a teacher, I'm having a very hard time. I don't know if this is Netflix. I'm having a very hard time getting things in French anymore. And so that's like a technology problem of like we used to have DVDs and I haven't looked into it very much because we don't do movies or hardly ever in my class. So like in the past we could get DVDs like in French and I don't know, like Netflix seems to be dropping that option. So that's just a technical whatever. I guess, and maybe this is just me being defensive, but we had a staff member come and sub with us last year and he was like our building sub. And he said he had been in like other buildings and was like so relieved when he came to our school and like there was so little iPad usage. And my students, like the first month of school, they're like, when do we use the iPad? When do you? And I'm like, not very much. I'm so sorry. You're gonna get it for reading once in a while, and that's about it. And yeah, so mine are used to like, we don't get iPads during free choice, guys. Like it doesn't happen. Anyways, so those are just my random thoughts at 6 o'clock on a Thursday night. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for being here with us. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments? Emily. I think I saw you. Did you go away?
Yes, sorry, I had to
Oh, there you
let
go.
unmute me on my phone. Thanks. I appreciate having this discussion and everybody's
Yeah.
perspectives on it. I know I had talked to Becky briefly before. I think, yeah, I also in general, I'm a fan of like not getting phones till later, not having screens everywhere. I guess, yeah, I've been hesitant to ask too much because it's hard to know what's going on in the classrooms just from our children. Because, like, for example, we hear about the movies in the cafeteria, but then it's like, well, it's only been once, or has it been like, so sometimes it's hard to parse like what the kindergartner is telling me. But I guess I do feel like, well, I guess I'm curious more about the cafeteria. I mean, I think it feels like in the classroom, there's sort of classroom specific things. And I kind of agree with the videos because our teacher also sends home, which I appreciate, a big list of like songs they're learning and things. So I like having that so we can listen to it or if we choose to watch it at home also. And I appreciate that. And I also know that sometimes when we do it at home, I tell Gabe, well, I'm going to turn my phone over and we're going to listen to it. So it would seem like perhaps that would be possible also in class. I know sometimes there's specific pointing to numbers and different things, but I would appreciate maybe some consideration that that could be a possible thing to do, even if you're still using the YouTube videos and whatever, you just listen to it. I think that could be a good idea. I'm sure there's definitely cases where that wouldn't work well or there's reasons for it, but I would be supportive of considering that. And then I guess I was wondering for the lunchroom, I'm curious. I mean, I guess in my view, I don't feel like movies are necessary during lunch at all. I'm open to hearing, I know it's fun and different things, but I guess I feel like it's just lunch and kids chat. But it sounds like it is really loud in there. So I have two perspectives. One, as someone with sensitive ears, like that sounds difficult. So I'm not sure what the idea is. And then I also wonder, is it, um, I guess, what is the goal of being quiet at lunch? Like, is it because it's literally so loud, it's really like difficult to exist in that environment? Or are kids really out of hand? Yeah, I guess I'm curious about sort of the noise level, like what the goal is and like how bad is it bad. Um, anyway, that's my perspective, and yeah, I'm super glad that you guys are all here sharing, and thanks for listening.
So I think one of the things that's a really good like comments, all of this is actually awesome, which is why I was kind of happy to have this be a part of the meeting. And I, again, Rebecca, we're going a little long. Um, One of the things when I think about the cafeteria is how is it accommodating to all students, right? And that's like one of the things that's often in top in front of my mind. And some students can deal with a high level of like noise, and for some other students that can be really dysregulating and really challenging, right? So there's always kind of this balance that we're trying to strike, and and I think trying to make sure like we have some students that wear headphones when they go into the cafeteria. We have some students that have alternative like seating arrangements and things like that. It's oh my gosh, in comparison to the school where I came from, where I got really good at dodging carrots, our cafeteria is really calm. It like our students, your children are amazing. And they can get pretty loud sometimes in the cafeteria. And it's almost, I refer to it sometimes as like the casino effect, right? You go in and the standard level of noises up here is because there's all these things going on, and then you add voices, and then it just raises the level a little bit more. So it can get pretty loud. Um, yeah, and then just the other part that I want to share that's kind of, I think, connected to this. I have not yet gotten my seventh grade son a cell phone, and we're like one of the last holdouts in his school. Also, middle school as an administrator for a couple of years scarred me a little bit. It just opens the door for lots of just really, well, honestly, like illegal and not great things happening on phones, just kids misusing them. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I think as parents, being one of the first generations to parent small children with all this technology, it's always a concern and top of mind. Um, there's some good comments in the chats. How about social games during lunch for 5 to 10 minutes? Thank you, Karina. And great point about accommodating kids with abilities to deal with noise. I hadn't really thought about that. Thanks, Emily. Jen, so let's take one more comment or question from Jen, Fizame, if you're still there. And then we are actually going to post a link in the chat to a Google Doc. So if you have follow-up comments or questions on this topic, please put them there so that we can make sure everyone gets addressed. And so, Jen, are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, perfect.
Hi, thank you. So I didn't hear what the original question or comment was. I apologize for that, coming in late. However, I just kind of getting the gist of it, and I wanted to just put in my 2 cents. I've had 3 children now at Latois. One who's gone all the way through and is in the middle school, and one who is now in second and kindergarten. And I will say, I think that and maybe it's because we are now the post-COVID generation of children in younger ed, and there might be a lot of people who feel there could be too much iPad use or too much screen time used in the classroom. But I really feel like Latois has always done a great job at using it very appropriately. The teachers, in my experience, have used it very appropriately, showing videos that are really good for helping with counting and ABCs and things like that for the younger kids and not using them in an excessive amount. I also have been very happy with the iPad usage. Especially with the younger kids. In terms of comparison with friends of ours who are at other St. Paul elementary schools, I will say I do believe Latois does a great job at using the iPads a lot less than some of the other schools that I've got friends that go to. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And I'm always happy to chat if there's any new parents here that have questions or just kind of wondering about things from previous years. We've been around, so happy to talk if anybody ever wants to.
Thank you, Jen. All right, Malia's working on getting that link up, and if we can't get it up in the chat during this meeting, then we'll make sure we get it out to the community in a different way. So you can look for that, because we want to make sure that everyone is heard. Thanks everyone for your comments and thoughtfulness about this. Like I said, we're blazing a trail raising these kids with all of this technology around. So we are a team all working together on this. And I see that the link is up. So thank you, Malia. All right. We are going to move on. We have our committee updates and we'll get through them. For intern committee, we are still looking for a couple host families. So if that's a way you can support our program, we would love it. Host families provide a private bedroom, bathroom can be shared. They provide meals or ingredients for meals and transportation to school, which could be by the bus. We also are in the process of getting our candidates for next year. So we are a little short on candidates from our usual recruiting partners. So we'll see how that goes. I think there's a lot of factors playing into that, but we will have interns next year. So that is good. And just a little shout out for our Invite an Intern program. So if you want to get to know your intern in your kid's classroom a little before the end of the school year, you can invite them for dinner or a fun event. You can reach out. There is a form, I think, on our website you can fill out or just reach out to their teacher or one of us. And I know they would love that. Anna, would you like to give the social committee update?
Sure. So the things we have coming up are Black History Month celebration on April 21st from 6 to 8. We have a storyteller, and I think it's a full, is it dinner?
Yep, mac and
Yep.
cheese bowls, buffet.
Oh, yum. Okay.
That'll be good.
And then we've got Kermesse coming up. We've decided on June 5th from 5 to 8. This is our end of the year spring carnival. We've got a planning committee going on it so far, and so we're planning on having an ice cream food truck. We've got games and activities being planned. We've got a silent auction. We've got a bouncy house. So it'll be a really good time. So you'll start seeing stuff like that in the principal newsletter for buying tickets and stuff like that. And then we've got Staff Appreciation Week coming up May 4th through 8th. This is different than the last one we did last month, or this month for that was for conferences. We cater some of their meals, and now this one is like truly Teacher Appreciation Week, I believe. So we'll be doing some fun activities that week. And then, I just want to say about the plant sale that we ordered earlier this winter/spring. So we've got the pickup coming up. The plants are going to be delivered and the gift cards on May 1st in the morning. So we're going to get them off the truck, hopefully after school drop off. So we're out of everybody's way. And then everyone can pick up their stuff from 4:30 to 6:30. So you can't pick it up in the school pickup line. You'll have to park and get out and walk, so that we keep that flowing. Yeah, so we'll have we'll have it all alphabetized, hopefully on the lawn off of Ames, and then you can come and pick it up.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna. All right, Malia, do you have some updates for us? For communications?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I think my screen works. Okay. So yeah. Well, first of all, I put the link in the chat. If anybody else has a problem, I hope it works now. Let me know if there's any problem opening the link that I included for the follow-up on the last topic. But we had the book fair during conferences that went well. Lots of kids were able to do their book bingo, or we're planning to do some reading over spring break. So that was fun just to see all the hard work that they did. And then, yeah, kind of our plan moving forward is to hopefully do another French book, like virtual French book fair before the end of the year. And then next year have a work with a company that also offers French materials so that we can have them for students and for adding to our classrooms again, and the library. And then I forgot what my other topic was.
Spirit gear?
Spirit gear, yes. So the spirit gear is going to be at the end of the month. We are going to have some slightly different colors, and once I get the like draw for that, I will include it on the website and then send out a flyer so you can see what the options are. And then we're going to do, we've had some requests for hoodies, so we'll bring hoodies back, but we'll have t-shirts also.
Awesome. Thank you. And can you tell us when the Chipotle night is? Because I keep forgetting. There is a Chipotle night coming up. You do
yes,
not have to cook that night.
It is. It's the first Wednesday in May. I think it's the 6th.
Okay. Perfect. I don't know why I haven't got it on my calendar yet.
I'll send out a reminder.
Okay. Yeah, so we have a Chipotle night coming up, and we do get quite a good chunk of the sales from that. So plus you don't have to cook or do dishes, so I love it. All right. We are right in the middle of doing our strategic planning for next year for the PTO. And we really want your input. So we've had a budget and calendar survey out there, and we'll put the link in the chat. We're going to be finalizing our budget proposal shortly. So if you have some input for us, we would love to hear from you. What your priorities are for where our funding goes, what priorities you have for the activities that we do. We really take that feedback and that's what we use to tailor our calendar and our survey or our budget for the year. So we'd really love it if you took some time to fill that out for us. And please look for the budget proposal in the next couple of weeks. We will vote on that budget at our May meeting. Sarah, do you have some exciting, I don't know, Glow Run news for us?
Sure, I can share Glow Run news. Hi,
Okay.
everybody. So we got our Glow Run numbers back, and we were very pleasantly surprised that we actually grossed a little bit more than we did even last year, which was also a banner year. So we grossed 24,854, which is very exciting. And that means that our take home, our net is going to be 22,500. So that is about 68% of the total, which is still a very sizable amount. And Booster does a great job. It's very turnkey. The kids really love it, etc. I will just throw out, we've had other parents ask, like, well, could we keep more of the profits if we did more? The answer is yes. Whoever's willing to volunteer to do that, we would love to have you. But we are the PTO, we're run by volunteers, and most of the time we're undermanned. And I'm sure all of the teachers probably feel the same way. So keep that in mind. If anybody is really feeling passionate that they want to help make all of that go, we'd love the help. And yeah, just to Rebecca's point that we are going to start working on our budget for next year. And so we had some unique things happen this year that we are going to reflect on and see if we need to adjust our plan going forward. And if there are other things that people really value, or, random things that we need to change, that we need to adjust what we're using our funds for, we're, really trying to be at the discretion of the community, and we want to be responsive to those interests and those requests. So please share what your thoughts are. Yeah. And that's all I've got, Rebecca, unless there's something else you want me to touch on.
Thanks. Sarah, Katie had a question in the chat. She wants could you repeat the numbers for Booster? How much did we take in, and how much does My Booster take? And Emily says we kept 68% this year, and that includes what we paid for the day of. Yes, it does. Yes. So the total donations were a bit over 30,000. And then, so we have a 75%, 25% deal with them, because we do most of the work. And then so we get to keep the 75% and then they charge us a fee for coming out that day. So our after everything, 22.5,
Mhm.
which actually is the highest we've ever made. And last
Amazing.
year
And
was also the highest we've ever made.
it's the highest ever.
Yeah.
But it is sometimes a little bit difficult when you look at the total number, because the total number was 32,000,
There you go.
but we get a percentage of that plus the fee. So that's where those numbers come from. And if anybody has other questions or wants to go over details, feel free to shoot me an email and I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Mhm.
All right. I am going to quickly go through the open board positions for next year, and then we are going to adjourn. We are just at time. We made it. So at our May meeting next month, we'll also vote on our executive board positions for next year. Each role on the board is a 2-year commitment. So we ask that when you apply, you plan that you'll be serving on the PTO board for 2 years. The commitment would be a monthly board meeting. So we meet 1 hour a month, and then also a 1 hour a month attending the general meeting. And then whatever other activities you are able to take on, depending on which position you are in. So for next year, the positions that are up for election would be the president. And what does the president do really? I don't know. So the president kind of is responsible for overseeing the PTO. You help fill in any area that's needed, really, and help provide general direction, lead the meetings, and there's a whole bunch of different things. But it's a really great way to get to know a lot of people in the community and support our school. The vice president is also open, and that person advises the president and works within the community also in a lot of the same functions. Our treasurer spot is up for election next year as well. The treasurer is responsible for all the funds of the PTO. They cut checks, do reimbursements, help write the budget, they help with the tax attorney file the taxes. And then we also have fundraising committee chair that's open. So they would be the person who works with our different fundraising partners, plans fundraising, and reports back to the community about funds that are raised. The intern committee chair, and all the chairs can have co-chairs. So there could be 2 people. If you're planning to, if you want to lead the intern committee, we do ask that you serve on the intern committee first. So if you would like to apply for the chair position, please join our committee and work with us for a few months and get the lay of the land, because it is a complex it's a complex situation, but it's really fun. And the intern committee chair plans the intern committee meetings monthly, works with the school, works with our visa partners, our recruiting partners, helps recruit host families, and communicate with the community as well. And our communications committee chair, and they also do amazing work supporting our school. The communications committee chair is responsible for communicating things out to the community, so running the newsletter, our directory, our Facebook page, and social media. And Malia does a lot more than that also. The book fair, Spirit Gear, and she is amazing. So, but she has a 5th grader next year, so we need someone. So if you are interested in joining the board, it's a great way to get to know people, to really support the community. Like I said, we would love for you to apply. The application will be coming out. It's pretty easy. Just want to know a little bit about you. We do post those on our website, and we send out a flyer with that link so that people can get to know you a little bit before voting. The deadline to apply is Sunday, May 10th, on Mother's Day. And then we will vote on the people who have applied. We'll vote on those positions at our next meeting, which is going to be our last general meeting for the year, which is on Thursday. I gotta take a breath. Thursday, May 14th. It is from 6 to 7 p.m. on Zoom. We would love to have you here. Sounds like we might have some more specific budget information then as well. If you have any suggestions for our agenda, you can email Malia, and we'll also have a link for you to give agenda items. Sarah has something to add.
I just wanted to do a really quick plug for being on the board. It's a really amazing group. You get to be part of the school. You get to know all the things that are going on. You really have your finger on the pulse. And also, if anybody is feeling intimidated, we're all parents. We're all doing the juggle. It's a really forgiving kind of group, and we're really supportive, and it is a little bit of a lift, but I also have found that like I kind of look forward to the board meetings to get caught up with everybody and connect with real people. And so if you're on the fence, I would encourage you to just maybe explore that and reach out and see if maybe it would be a good fit, and we'd love to have you. That's all.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I agree. It is a really fun way to be a part of the school. And like you said, we all do what we can. We're all busy parents. And so we work together and support each other to get the job done. And there's also always life, like someone's kid is puking or something and someone needs help. We just jump in and help each other. So we'd love to have you. All right. I think I've made it through everything. Thanks again for being here. And hopefully we'll see you again next month on May 14th. All right. Have a good night. We are adjourned.
Thanks, Rebecca. Good night.
Good night.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Did I catch everything that the board members do?
It was a good start.
It was a good start. I should have written it down.
That was good.
Gosh. All right. Bye.
Bye.